We've gotten relationships all wrong, and here's why. Here's my theory. I'm just I'm just spewing nonsense. You don't have to listen, but here's my theory is so for decades and decades and decades and generations and generations and generations, it was about survival, right? It was initially about physical attraction, sure. There were a lot simpler needs 100 years ago, 200 years ago. It was easier for men and women to get along in a relationship, in a long term relationship. And so you would pair up and you would stay forever and you'd follow all the rules, right? And that was even going on 20 years ago, 20 years ago, even 30 years ago, close to 40 years ago, when I was graduating high school and coming into college. And we were still doing that. I still I had a high school teacher who said a lot of women go to college to find their husbands. Like that was still being taught, right? It was still being told us, go find your husband and so that he can take care of you so you don't have to work and you can have babies and whatever. That was still happening in the 80s and into the 90s. And so there was this old programming, right, of relationships where there was rarely, I know there were people, but there rarely was there a super deep soul connection because we didn't know that existed. We didn't know what that felt like. We didn't know that was a thing. We just found somebody who we could get along with and who would take care of us and who would, had the basic same desires, right? Do you want kids? Do you want to live in this place? Do you want to move a lot? These basic things, right? You discover if you want the same things, and then you get married, you have kids, you stay forever. And so then there was this, I feel like it was the 100th monkey concept, right? Where when enough people figure something out, then it's like wildfire. Then all of a sudden it's like a reprogramming in the brain. Like everybody all of a sudden gets it. Just because a certain number of people figured it out on their own, then all of a sudden it's the whole situation. If you don't know what that story is, it's really kind of cool. Look up what the 100th monkey was. It's very cool. I'm not going to explain the whole thing right now. But it is so what happens is humans, and I know I say this a lot. If you watch my videos, I say this a lot. Is we tend to when we discover something new or when we discover we've maybe been doing something that we don't want to do anymore. And I don't want to say wrong, but maybe something that okay, it's no longer aligned, it's no longer working. We will swing the pendulum all the way to the other extreme and just go ham on that extreme until eventually we find our sweet spot. And some people never do, but it's like there are always outliers. But we'll come back in the middle somewhere and be somewhere in a more manageable and doable place. And so what happened is enough people, the 100th monkey happened in humanity, enough people were figuring out that, oh my God, there's another level of connection. There's another level of deep love that I want to experience. And so I'm going to leave this partner and I'm going to go find it. And they were finding it because they were opening their heart. They were expanding their heart on a whole new level. And they were finding these amazing partners. And so when enough people figured out that they could do that, all of a sudden everybody's splitting, everybody's and I'm a firm believer if you split with somebody, then it was it's all about the experience. It was meant to happen. But what I'm seeing with the pendulum then is it's shifting. It's more about the searching for a partner, right? So searching used to be about, okay, he's got a stable job. He'll let me stay home or he'll let me work or whatever, right? It's all about, for the women, it was all about who's going to keep me from being a prostitute on the streets. And of course, I'm talking, 150, 200 years ago. But we were still programmed for that, right? Oh, he'll take good care of me. And we're shifting now to, oh, he has trauma and he took me to Red Lobster on our first date. So nope. It's like all of a sudden we're not giving anybody a chance. And so now there's all these single women floating around, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm saying this is all divine, right? This is all part of the experience, part of the process of finding the sweet spot. I think it's beautiful that there are all these single women who are rediscovering themselves and what they truly want. I also think that as a society, we're in a place right now where we're not giving anybody a fucking chance. They have trauma. Everybody has trauma. If you think you're going to find somebody with no trauma, then you're going to find somebody who's way out of your league because you're going to find somebody not human. Like, leave the planet to find somebody like that. Everybody has trauma. Everybody has baggage. Everybody has stuff that we're working through, okay? And you're going to attract someone who matches your trauma. Now, you can choose to work through stuff. Like there's a beautiful meme going around right now that's like, you both come in with baggage. You can choose to help each other unpack, or you can trip over each other's bags, and that's not long lasting, right? A lot of people are choosing to help each other unpack, and it's not easy. So, what we're seeing is relationships that, they used to say, oh, well, you got to make it work, and relationships take work, and marriages take work. Yeah, but we're seeing work on a whole new level now because we're feeling soul connections come in and we know we want it. And so we are working on a whole new level. And what the work is internal. You have to work on yourself. You have to become a better you to then either inspire or affect your partner to become a better them, right? Or if you're single, to attract somebody better than what you've been attracting. Like it's that simple. And so right now we are seeing this pendulum way over in the extreme where and I feel like I could be wrong, but I see it more with women toward men where they're like, nope, nope, he called his mom or whatever in the middle of the date, or he loves his mom too much, or right, like we don't want those mama's boys, right? There's trauma there. Oh my God. Or oh no, he's been married 3 times. Nope, that's too much. It's like all these dumb things that we're like, oh, that's a red flag. Bye. And we're not giving anybody a chance. Everybody has shit. Everybody has shit. It just may look different. It may manifest different. You may think you've got, and I'm saying everybody's healing. I'm not trying to throw shade on everybody. Like, no, you're not healing. And don't think that you are. We absolutely are. But for the people who are you're attracted to somebody, you go on a first date and you're judging them for really stupid things, then you're walking away. I feel like you're walking away from potentially beautiful relationships. Now, on the same on the same hand. On the other hand, I don't know if it's the same hand or the other hand. Um, if there isn't a soul connection, then that's easy to do, right? That's super easy to do to just walk away. And so it's all part of the process. And I do feel like we're going to find our sweet spot. And I do feel like, obviously, if you can walk away and never think of that person again, then that wasn't your person anyway. You could have walked away from some really nice memories. It doesn't matter, right? You're walking away, you're walking away. I will say that, if I will say that we are already, I'm already seeing this shift kind of back towards the middle where a lot of us now are speaking up about, hey, stop like just writing everybody off just because they have trauma. We all have trauma. And if you find yourself continually walking away from people, then maybe you're the problem, right? You're the problem if you can't find anybody that you think matches your standards. Perhaps your vibration is not calling in those people because it's not where you think it is, right? We have to go in and not to say that we're not gods and goddesses, that we're not these beautiful beings, that we absolutely are, but we get an ego. I feel like it's an ego healing. It's a deep ego healing right now going on where we are, oh well, I deserve the best, blah blah blah. And so yeah, we absolutely do. You got to be the best you then, to inspire your partner to be the best them, or to call in someone who is also working on being the best them. It's a vibrational match. But when you meet somebody who is like that soul connection, sometimes that soul connection is that's it, like that's it. And you are going to inspire somebody to heal, the other person heal, they're going to inspire you to heal. It's going to be a back and forth. We like to call it triggering, but I'm going to start calling it inspiring others to heal. And so there could be a lot of triggering back and forth. But if that soul connection is there, every time you pull back a little bit to look at your own shit, you should feel that connection even stronger. And so it's going to happen. We are figuring it out. I just wanted to point out that I do feel like if you feel like you don't want to be alone, but you're alone and you just keep meeting people and going, nope, nope, nope. I feel like you're being too harsh, not just on them, but there's something about you that you're avoiding looking at, right? Like why do you keep calling in these people that you don't feel are up to your standards? maybe you're not up to your standards right now. So it's time to, and a lot of women are doing this now, right? That's why I feel like I'm seeing the shift, that we're going to find the sweet spot. And not everybody's meant to be in a relationship, and that's fine too. But a lot of women are starting to realize that maybe I just need to be single for a while so that I can heal this. If you're not in a deep soul connection, if you can't seem to find that, we all want that now, then you're meant to be in that solitude right now to heal your own shit. So it's never it's never all the other person. That's all I will say. It's never all the other person. You have a hand in this. And even if it's just, okay, I'm going to go in and see where I need to heal so that if you're continually walking away and you're single, how can you raise your vibration so that you attract better partners so that you don't want to walk away? And just start realizing though that, if you're kicking everybody to the curb who has trauma, and you're alone, well, that's why, because everybody has trauma that we're working on right now, And I think my perspective is, as long as we have a physical body, we have an ego. As long as we have an ego, well, as long as we have a physical body, we're going to have trauma, because that's where we store it. And then we'll always have an ego as long as we have a physical body, because the ego is what points it out to us, right? The ego is what shows us our trauma and convinces us to hold on to it, right? It's a whole cycle. But what we're doing right now is we're evolving with our physical bodies, which is the first time ever since the beginning of humanity. And we've always just almost died out, and then we get born again into the new vibration. Hey, cool, that was easy. Not this time. Not this time. We're taking the bodies with us, which is why there's so much dis-ease and discomfort and physical shit right now. And the last like 20, 30 years, everybody's sick. Everybody's got something. Everybody's got autoimmune. Everybody's got some disease that's named after them because nobody's heard of it or seen it before. There's a lot of physical stuff going on because we are taking the body with us, and the body had a lot of catching up to do. So it is important to take care of the physical body. But honestly, if you go in and heal the emotional wounds, the physical body is going to step in line. And even like addictions, cravings, that kind of thing. Like I struggle with sugar, I struggle with food cravings, I struggle with overeating, I struggle with all these things. As I have healed my wounds, my inner child wounds, I had some trauma from the way I was raised. No shade on my parents. They did the best they could. They were very loving and great parents. There were things that caused me to think, oh, I need to be skinny to be happy, and I have to starve myself to be skinny. And so it was a whole cycle, right? And so then when I'm healing it, I swung the pendulum the whole other way and was like, fuck it, I'm just going to eat, right? So, and I had to find my sweet spot. So I do believe that I am finding it. I've not gone back to that extreme, to either extreme. I'm in the middle. I'm just still finding, where I want to live in that space. And so it's all about the healing. It's all about the healing. Stop kicking everybody to the curb because they have trauma. Give people a chance. Red Lobster's not that bad. I mean, it's just silly. So we're going to figure it out. Just if this brings awareness to anybody and their situation. And again, if you're single and not finding anybody, then there's something there for you. The universe is providing solitude for you to tune in. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk today. Have a good one.